Welcome to Between Two Trains, a bi-monthly business podcast that talks with entrepreneurs in the North DeKalb area. And now, Between Two Trains.
Welcome to another episode of Between Two Trains. I'm your co-host, Van Pappas, and we got a really special episode today. Today, I not only have a co-host to my left, but I also have a co-host to my right. So to my left, coming back for the second episode in a row, the ever-famous Mr. David Carter from the Downtown Development Authority. David, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
And to my right, a former guest and a former co-host who's co-hosted some other episodes, Dr. Rachel Weimer, who has a chiropractic practice in downtown Chamblee.
That's right.
So, guys, today we've got a great entrepreneur that we're going to interview because I want to spend this episode talking about branding and marketing and what that's like for both of y'all as, you know, David, you as a lawyer, Rachel, you as a chiropractor, you have your own businesses, and we brought on Jena Dunham, all right, from Black Bear Design right here in downtown Chamblee. Jena, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Proud to be here.
All right. So first,
a lot of Jena time. We should know she was at the DDA meeting just last night.
Yeah.
So.
I'm a civic duty nerd, so I'm here.
I love that.
So before we get into that, Jena, tell us exactly what Black Bear Design is. What do y'all do?
So we were founded as really a graphics agency, graphic design, predominantly print media, and over time that developed into web development, digital marketing, all the sort of hot spots. But we really are a full service marketing agency, so we either want to be your marketing department or we want to be an extension of your existing team. And if you need copywriting or graphic design or web updates, come to us. We can help you with that. So that's sort of who we are.
And you are in downtown Chamblee, right on Peachtree Road.
We are. We have a great space. We're actually in what was the old hardware store of Chamblee, I think back in the 30s. So we have original hardwood floors and tin ceilings, and you hear every step that's made. But otherwise, we really love our space. We're right by Himalayas and sort of in that general area down from Blue Top. Yeah.
Well, why there? What caused y'all? I mean...
Well, we had originally been in Dunwoody, and we were such a small agency at the time. We were working out of a place called Rome, which is just sort of like an open office.
It's just like right here at 3411
Exactly.
Co-working. It's a co-working office company.
And it was a great space for us, but we just got to the point we needed a dedicated office space. So we moved temporarily to GBC, which is down on Pierce, to the Guardian Business Center, for temporary space while we looked for permanent space. And our owners at the time had shopped us around a lot. We knew we were in growth mode, so we wanted to get into a space we could kind of grow, and we found that one, and we just love the charm of it and love Chamblee. Had no interest in leaving Chamblee at all. And it's really central to where all of our staff kind of work. So we have people coming all the way from McDonough and Marietta and Lawrenceville who drive in to work at the agency. So it's a great location for us.
So, David, let's start on your side. As the chairman of the Downtown Development Authority, you know, what is Jena with her company and the DDA and what Chamblee's doing? Let's talk a little bit about Chamblee's marketing and Chamblee's branding.
Sure. Your business is exactly what Chamblee is looking for. We are not trying to bring in big box businesses and big chains and stuff like that. We're trying to keep people who are local and local businesses in the downtown area. And most of what we're trying to do is get more foot traffic for everybody.
Yeah.
Your business doesn't sound like one that operates solely on whoever's coming in and out the door every single day. But having a presence and being seen by people going from restaurant to restaurant or whatever is going to increase your visibility and bring more people to you eventually. And that word of mouth you can't replace with any other form of advertising.
That's right. And, you know, through the city, through the chamber, through a lot of different sort of local networking opportunities, we have found quite a significant clientele base out of that. There is, of course, some what I'll call walk-in traffic, but that's very few people impulse buy marketing services. It's not
Right.
really a last minute thing.
It's not a cigarette lighter at the end of the checkout
right.
aisle.
We're not selling Halloween costumes for
Right.
dogs, you
Right,
know.
right.
So it's much more of a thoughtful, sort of premeditated purchase. But what it does is give us a really great authority and an established, beautiful location that it's kind of cool, it's kind of funky, it's sort of like us, a little offbeat. I mean, you can't have a name like Black Bear. If you come in, you'll literally see we've hit that theme in the face. I mean, there's bears everywhere. So we kind of like the quirk of that. And we target, I hate that word. It sounds like we're about to shoot you. But we aim for small to medium-sized businesses. Those are who we fit best because that's what we are. We understand that business. So it's great to be in Chamblee and I just learned from you guys how many small businesces there are.
Yeah, we have
area.
over 2,100 businesses in Chamblee, and we don't have the big boxes. Unlike Dunway with State Farm and Mercedes-Benz and all that, and Sandy Springs with all their Fortune 500 companies, those 2,100 businesses in Chamblee are mainly like yours, small mom and pop type businesses. Well, can you talk a second about what David was saying with the marketing of Chamblee? What do you think Chamblee's doing right? What do you think they still have to do? Where do we need to go from here as a community?
I think it's great that I never plan to run for office, since I'm going to talk about this. There are areas that I think Chamblee does great, and there are areas that I definitely see we haven't done yet. I don't think it's that it's not been done well. I just think it hasn't been done yet. One that I know y'all are actively pursuing is the definition of Chamblee. What is that? What does that look like? What is downtown Chamblee, and how do we define that? And then how do you market that? Is it billboard placement? Is it social media? Is it, what is it that really effectively communicates what Chamblee is and why you should come here? And to me, it's not just a matter of embracing those who are from outside, but as David was saying, how do we keep people who are here shopping here, eating here, staying here, instead of going to Buckhead or Inman Park?
Building a community.
That's right. And so I think one of the things, Van, you and I have talked about kind of offline is the growth plan for Chamblee and the sort of attention that's being placed on bringing those sort of community-centered efforts into the city are important. We don't have a ton of that right now. Those sort of art centers and cultural centers and shopping meccas and those things that are just easy walkable spaces that you can bring your family, you can bring your friends. Those are the kind of things I'm excited to see Chamblee aiming for. But one thing I think Chamblee does great is that you have managed to kind of hone in on the charm, but still care very much about growth and future. And it's hard. I come from a really small mountain town in Georgia, and they really focused on that charm and never gave a lot of emphasis to, but how do we attract younger, more newer, better future? And they're losing the game a little bit with that right now.
And you also live in Chamblee, so
do.
This is important to you, not just from
Yes.
having your business in downtown, but being
That's right. As a
citizen.
resident, as someone who does manage a business here, it matters to me personally, one, just from the sake of my property value. I care about that a lot. But I care that the reputation of my business is sort of oh, you're in Chamblee. I want it to have that kind of effect, not, oh, Chamblee. Okay, gotcha. I want that feeling of excitement for the town to be known.
Yeah. Let's change over to Rachel. So you came on the show, goodness, it's been a while now, maybe
Probably
9
close-
months,
yeah, probably close to a
almost a
year.
year ago. And so you've run your business now for more than a year. Talk about when you started your business, what you had to go through, and did you employ anyone like Jena's company for branding and marketing?
So I haven't done that yet. For the age that I am, it feels like that should be just common sense to me, but it still feels it's tough for me to like rationalize digital marketing.
Yep.
Because I am in a field where personal referrals are so significant. But I think the branding and marketing piece is really important these days because everybody is finding everything online.
Yeah.
And so I kind of have that dynamic going. Like,
Jenna, what
do I
advice
need
would
that?
you give her at this phase? She's a couple years into her business. You just heard her comments on her thoughts on that. What would you suggest to the entrepreneurs listening to this show who are just like Rachel? What's your advice?
The advice that I have is broaden your thinking of what digital marketing is. I think everyone equates, naturally, because it's the foundation of it, equates digital marketing to ad spend, meaning I'm putting dollars into something in order to produce a result. And digital marketing can be very organic. It can be about the way you manage and handle social media. But I tell you, for a business like yours, as you just mentioned, referrals being so important, those testimonials on Google, those testimonials on your business listing, that is a moneymaker right there. And it's as simple as asking for them. No one, unless you have just a god-awful experience, thinks to go online and leave reviews, you have to ask for them. And, there are different approaches you can make with that. You could definitely incentivize. I definitely strongly suggest you never pay for reviews. But I think you can have contests and things like that to encourage people to get it done within a certain timeline, that kind of thing.
Well, give us an example of a contest.
So we have done one in the past. I'll give
I've
you
done
just
one,
a personal one. Yeah. So you say, hey guys, we have free soccer tickets. Leave a review and we'll do a drawing at the end of the month.
That's what I've done. Like, leave a review, you get 5 raffle tickets.
That's
and
right.
then at the end of the month, we're giving away, 2 complimentary massages.
That's right. So reviews are really, really important. The other thing you need to consider are business listings. And this is going to sound so silly, but the world is full of them and you have no control of them. Meaning there are websites who are dedicated out there to finding out that you're a brand new business and listing your information on their site. You've never heard of them. You'll never hear from them. But what they do is they soak up all your search engine optimization and they run ads. They have advertisers that pay for them to stay in business. But they're soaking up all your SEO. And it may be information that's no longer true. You may have moved location. Your hours may have changed.
Fascinating.
All kinds of things. And it's just out there. And you never signed up, whatever. So there's services you can use. We recommend one called Yext, Yext. And what that does is unify, centralize. It scans the entire internet for all those creepy business listings and unifies them. Because every time Google sees inconsistency, they ding you. Yep. So you're getting penalized and you're falling lower and lower on Google because
That's
your business
fast. I never knew that. That's
This
amazing.
is the thing. I think that's why a lot of people don't maybe utilize companies like this, is because it's so confusing. It's so in-depth, and most people don't understand the ins and the outs.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what you don't know. You don't know what to ask
I
for.
think it's worse than that. I think most people don't even bother to Google themselves.
Probably.
They have no idea that they even have a problem.
Probably.
I
You're
think
probably
it
right.
is an intimidating thing.
It
I think
is.
anything that isn't your field, it's me I am the cliche walking into getting my car fixed, right? I don't care. I don't know. I just want the car to start and go to the next place.
Right.
I need no other information, right? And so I think that's kind of how we operate as business owners. Is like, I have business right now. I could have more, but I don't have time to care or deal with that next level. It sounds expensive. It sounds exhausting. I just don't want to do it, right? But I think when you work with someone, I come from a household of teachers. It is in my blood to try to sit down and help you understand. You don't have to do everything today. In fact, if you tried, you'd fail hard. Start small. Start with something that's manageable, something that you can tackle today. All forward motion counts. So start with something that you can kind of get your arms around, like Yext. It's cheap, it's quick, it's dirty. Get in there, get that cleaned up, and you'll see an automatic boost in your search engine optimization because all of that's consistent, and Google finally recognizes, oh, you're legitimate, you're real, you're not just trying to fake me out.
Now, what's your feelings on social media stuff?
I have a love-hate... Brian, our social media manager, if you're listening, just tune out right now. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. The love side I have of it is if you have something really visual and tangible, it's awesome. If that's your product you're trying to sell, that's great. If you are service related or you're B2B, It's endlessly exhausting to
I
try to make
struggle with
that work
that.
for you.
I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
It's-
Selling legal services, it's not a thing.
Right. You have to add value. That's the only way your audience is interested. If they're entertained by you, or if they're learning something from you that they can't get somewhere else more easily. If you're feeding it to them easily, then that's great. It is exhausting. It is time consuming. It is
I agree with you on
never
the,
the
Definitely.
result. you
the
think.
entertaining part.
Yes.
You know, we talked about, David and I, the last episode, talked with our entrepreneur about this exact topic and how,
Yeah.
you know, people don't want to read anything. They want to be entertained.
And that kind of content is expensive. And if you're doing video, if you're doing like really great photography, if you're doing, beautiful graphics, that's time consuming. That's expensive.
Yeah.
Putting together a 30-second animated video, that's a chunk of change, and it'll last.
What do you think of just native Facebook video? Someone saying, "Hey, I'm just going to get in front of the
The
camera and
selfie stick.
Yes.
get the selfie
Oh, yeah.
stick or whatnot."
Here's
you know.
what I have learned in my time. I can witness it. I can show you analytics that prove it. A picture of my workspace will get more engagement than any article, any video, any other thing I've ever posted. People love that personal inside. First of all, I have the advantage that everybody thinks I work in a space like Mad Men. Not true. It's not that sort of like sexy
It's
martinis.
not all
and cigarettes.
martini cigarettes
It's not,
and
no.
nooners.
No, it's like legitimately hard work.
Is that not the case?
It is.
Isn't that what the
Absolutely.
lawyers
That's
do?
what
They
you
take a nooner?
Oh, if only.
No.
Oh my God.
At my age, a nooner means a nap.
I would definitely look at social media.
Yeah.
For that.
So,
For nooners?
whoa, we've gone a new
You mean
direction.
naps?
Oh, yes. Sorry. We've gone
You're
off
awake.
the rails
I know.
here, so that's why they call us between two trains.
Precious. But I think everybody kind of looks at an agency and thinks, oh, that's what it's like. They only know Bewitched and Darren and his ad agency, and they know Mad Men.
What
and
a
that's-
reference.
Wow.
I'm not sure how many
Yeah.
listeners will know
okay,
that
maybe I'm
reference.
Remember
alone
Mr.
in that.
Tate?
Maybe I'm
Yes,
see?
Mr.
Yeah.
Tate.
I remember
Maybe I'm
that.
alone in that. Okay. But those are, I think, the mental references we have of what an advertising or a marketing agency is. And it's just not like that, The closest we get is sometimes we have dogs in the office, but that's as close as we get to being sort of like free and loose. The rest of it's just like dedicated, focused work. And it's hard for people to understand the behind the scenes is my point. They love seeing that exposure of like what our workspace is like, or us like sketching things out on a whiteboard, because it feels intimate. It feels like you're getting a behind the scenes look. And that kind of stuff is great in social media. My point with that, to answer your question, Van, is that you need a marriage of both kinds of content. Yeah, bust out the selfie stick, definitely do some of that casual, interactive posting, but you have to show value in it in other ways too. You have to show that you are an authority on your subject, and that's reposting, relevant articles sometimes. You have to show that you are a voice worth following. And so sometimes that requires the polished stuff, and sometimes that requires the casual stuff. It's that combination that I think leads to the most magic in a social campaign.
That's great, because everybody harps on social media, and everybody tells, like me personally, that you have to post on social media. You have to do videos. You have to do Facebook Lives. I scroll past all that stuff all the time because most of it is garbage. Most of it is not good.
If you are a business that is not either 50 years established, if you're not a business that just has, a marketing excess budget, don't start with social media. And don't start it and forget it. That's the worst thing you can
gotta
do.
be
Because
consistent.
I'm just going to assume your door's closed if you just quit. I'm just going to assume you're not there anymore.
You've got to post daily.
That's right. So either do it really well
Daily.
or don't do it.
Daily. I think so.
I think
That's
3
what I
times a week.
well, for my financial planning practice. I post daily.
If you have the
I have a-
time and
I have a-
resources to do it, that's awesome.
I have a 3-2 campaign that I use. So 3 are organic related stuff that is relevant to me, my practice, what I do, and 2 are more, hey, I'm sending them to an article I found, or it's something that has nothing to do with me being a financial planner.
Yeah. I think
That's just what I came up with, and it
if that's
seems to work.
effective-
And I do like video over
Yeah.
actual text.
Yeah, I think you're going to get more engagement on that.
Yeah.
People can kind of consume it quickly, and we're a society that doesn't enjoy reading.
Yeah, we've
Sadly.
said that
So,
over and over.
yeah.
People don't read anymore.
Yeah. I just think if you have only a certain number of beans to spend, don't put too many beans in that bucket until
Sure.
you're really ready to do it. Focus. There are other ways. There are other things.
So
that
give
are
us an
more
example of
impactful.
another way. What should we have our resident
Mm-hmm.
chiropractic here? She's got a small business. What should she be doing?
I tell you what I think is sort of the lost art is the printed piece. I think having something physical and tangible, because one, that works for all audiences. Well, those who speak that language, I should say. But that works for all ages and that kind of thing. But it also is just such a lost art to do something really beautiful and thoughtful, because it speaks instantly about who you are and what you do. And I really miss us caring about good design and good branding in that way. But outside of that, I think some other things you can focus on are those quick wins, what I'll call. So like the business listing cleanup is a great one. Just researching your competitors. Who are the people out there that are near you and not near you? Look at Washington State. What are they doing and what are they doing great? And can you capitalize on some of that? You're not reinventing the wheel. Everyone's done what you've done. So what can you do? How can you borrow ideas? None of us are doing anything new. So,
Right.
So look at what your competitors are doing really well. Take it. Use
great.
it.
Well, we are up to our commercial break, so we're going to hear from our sponsor here at 3411 Co-working, and we will be right back with our ever fun Hot or Not game, so stay tuned.
Looking for an affordable, functional, and creative space to work? Check out 3411 Co-working in downtown Chamblee. They have flexible month-to-month office space options that include fiber internet, meeting rooms, printing, coffee, snacks, and networking events. 3411 Co-working is the perfect place for entrepreneurs, remote workers, and small business owners looking for a one-stop shop for your professional needs. Stop by for a tour Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 and see how 3411 Co-working can work for you.
Welcome back to Between Two Trains. We come to you on the 1st and the 15th of every month with great new entrepreneurs. You can hear all our past episodes on our website at betweentwotrains.com, or if you're in your car, just pop open your favorite podcasting app and we are most likely there. So we are at the point of this episode where we're going to play Hot or Not. So David, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you run with Hot or Not here. So.
All right. Cool. So you're the manager of your company, managing partner of your company, which means you have to pick and choose your employees and assistants and stuff like that.
Yes.
So W-2 employees versus independent contractors. Hot or not? That's not really a hot or not,
Oh, that's a good Hot or Not.
It's a good one.
is it?
Oh gosh. Well, W-2.
You could plead the fifth.
Yeah. No. I mean, obviously, I hot on W-2s because I prefer having just somebody. Really, I can just go down and wring their necks, or I can go down and congratulate them, and they're just in my space, and so I can.
It says a lot about your management style.
Yeah, a little bit. That's completely accurate.
There's the kicking of butts and the wringing of necks happening.
I like the accessibility of a W-2, right? I like that you are on call and you're on my time. Contract employees almost always are when they have time for me, or when they're done with their full-time gig and they can get to my thing, right? Now they're obviously cheaper, and that's great. So you have to outweigh, plus I'm giving way too long an answer to this, but I'm going to do it anyway. W-2 employees have an investment in what your mission is, because my success is their success. Contract employees, they're going to dip in and out. They don't care what the Black Bear standard is.
No ties.
No skin
Yeah.
in the game.
Yeah.
Right. Well, my question goes along with that really well, but in your industry, or just in general, do you feel like it's better to hire experience or fresh talent?
In my boat, I'm going to say experience. I need you coming on board with a skill set. So experience is hot for me. And it's not that I don't see value in teaching you how to play the game my way, but my clients don't really have a lot of patience for you getting up to speed. They don't really want to pay for you to learn.
train you.
Yeah.
But doesn't that mean you're having to pay more?
Absolutely.
Your
I pay a
employee
lot
cost or-
more for employees than most businesses would, because I'm looking for somebody who didn't just graduate yesterday. I need you to come in, not just with experience. I'm almost always looking for agency experience. I need to know that you can work with 14 different clients who have
little bit of
14
savvy.
different industries. You have to be a chameleon. They all have different audiences. They all have different things they care about. I work with clients who sell forklifts, and I work with clients who sell dog kennels and everything in between. So how do I make sure my team can adjust and be malleable to that and speak in all of those different voices? Yeah.
That's great.
Cool. My turn. I'm going to ask a Mad Men sort of question, right?
Go for it.
Hot or not, having your office close to a bar.
Hot, hot, hot.
We are like on the same page here.
Yes.
Did I steal your question? I'm
no,
sorry.
but it was so close.
I believe in rewards through food and beverage, so I definitely make sure that if you're on my team, you're well fed. You're not ever thirsty. So yeah,
Do you have a policy on naps as well?
Are you looking for a new job?
I am. I mean,
Your lunch
sounds good over
hour
here.
is your lunch hour. You know
He's
what
still
I'm saying?
looking for that nooner.
I mean, if you just want to take a quick snuggle in the back room, that's up to you. And by that, I mean we have some bare pillows. You can
Does
That's-
Kelly
that's the
listen to this
marketing
show?
firm
I
that
don't
we-
know, man.
Lawyers don't snuggle. Lawyers are all prickly and stuff like that. You know, marketing people are snuggling and stuff.
we're artists, you know.
That's so funny. So again, my question is on a similar page. We have a couple really good breweries here in Chamblee. Do you have a favorite?
I mean, I am not again, I'm not running for office, so it should be okay. I'm not a beer person, but I love so much a lot of our local restaurants here. I mean, I met my husband at Blue Top. Our first date
Nice.
was there, and so I have a real strong connection there. I love Southbound. We hop over to Hop Sticks quite often.
Hop into Hop Sticks.
Yeah, so those three, Moonbird, obviously, I have lots of meetings there and things like that. So
And we have that new brewery up the street.
Just opened.
Artisan Ales.
Yes.
I've not been yet.
Yeah, Artisan Ales.
should.
And we got a
should.
distillery coming to
We do have
Chamblee.
a
Now
distillery.
that is my speed.
Yes.
Now I love. There's a. I'm gonna say something that's not in Chamblee. There's a distillery in downtown area called ASW, and we had our Christmas party there. So I'd love to have something more close by that we could do things like that. So.
Yes, it is my understanding that this distillery will have event space.
Yeah, it's going to
And
be
we'll-
very
We love
cool.
booze.
You love booze.
That is a little Mad Men of us, I guess I should say.
Well, you're not drinking martinis during work.
Unfortunately, no, that's frowned upon. But you know,
Why martinis? Why was that the thing with
I don't
advertising?
even like a martini.
I hate martinis.
It's just cold vodka,
Yeah.
right?
And olives.
yeah, maybe
And
it's just to
olives.
get the olive. I don't know.
I like a dirty martini, but anyway,
That's great.
as we digress
Yes.
farther away,
Once again.
the trains are off the tracks.
There's no doubt.
Too many people in the room to keep everything on the track all the time.
I want to
Is
thank.
it my turn? Is it my?
Oh, you got
It's
another
your
one?
turn. Do you have more?
Go for it. If
Yeah.
you got more, go for it.
I do want to ask you about your business planning. So 5-year business plans, hot or not?
I'm just going to breathe really heavily on the microphone on this. I think that they are important. I think it's always important that you set goals and that you look to the next thing. I think you have to be really flexible with it, because in the way that everything in life does, it changes.
Fluid, flexible, and subject to
Yeah,
change.
you need to, and it particularly in my industry where the technology changes every day. I can't keep up with it. So I have no idea if social media in 5 years, that may not even be a thing. So if that's the cornerstone of my plan, I'm in trouble if that just kind of starts to fade out, right? So whatever it is, if I've not considered how we are going to be able to bend, and maybe we have to change how many W-2 employees versus contractor we have, and those kinds. I have to be fluid with all of that because, much like any business, it ebbs and flows.
That's changed a lot recently, don't you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
It used
so.
to be you had to have a 5-year business plan and you had to have everything all planned out. And now it's, you got to be flexible.
Yeah.
'Cause things change really fast.
I have seen in our own
Surprisingly
business.
fast.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen in our own business where there was a very determined person to go a very determined direction. And, we all had to ride that horse with him, and it just didn't go that well. We had to cut and try something else. So I believe in flexibility with that.
I'm not a big fan of the 5-year plan. I am the big fan of the 1-year plan.
Yeah.
So every November I do a business plan for my next year
I
where
remember you saying
that's
that.
great.
I map out, how much revenue I need to hit, how many new clients I'd like to bring in. And to Jenna's point, it is a flexible thing so that, when I get to the end of the year, if I look back and say, did I hit my numbers? Did I not? What do I need to change? Do I need to do more social media? Are these videos working? Is this podcast working? Do we need to change our marketing efforts? But I'm also, Jenna, and we'll leave it with this, I'm a big fan of throwing as many darts as I can.
Yeah.
Do you think that, these 2,100 businesses that we talked about in Chamblee, do they need to concentrate and have a focused attack, or should they be trying as many things to see what works and what doesn't?
Yeah, if marketing were a science, we'd all be a lot wealthier. It's not. And I don't know what works for your business and your audience until we just give it a shot. So don't throw all your money at one thing. Be smart about it. Test it out in small doses. See what bites and what doesn't. And then throw your money at those directions that really worked well. So, yeah.
What do you
definitely
think
trial
of the
and error.
back? So I'm pointing now to our listeners to the back of my laptop right here, which has my brand on it. I've branded my laptop. What do you think of that kind of marketing? The subtle stuff that is not in your face. It's not, I'm not sending something to a client or a prospect. But when I'm at the Chick-fil-A and I got my laptop open, people see that brand. Is
It's
that
product placement, and it's worked in television for 60 years. I mean, that's marketing 101. So any way that you can wear a logoed polo shirt when you're out, in the way that you can. Now, I don't personally love decorating my vehicle with bumper stickers, but you do you. Find ways that you can definitely have that kind of thing visible for yourself. If I'm taking out a pen to write, I make sure it's a Black Bear pen. Those kinds of little things. Product placement works, and that's why they keep doing it.
Well, we've come to the end of our time. I want to thank you, Jenna, for coming on the phone. On the podcast, if someone wants to come and employ your services, what do you suggest? Should they just pop in, or?
We love foot traffic, so by all means, we're right by Himalayas in downtown Chamblee, but you can also just visit blackbeardesign.com, and
If they want to make an appointment,
phone
can they
numbers.
call you?
Of course, yeah.
What's that number?
You can reach me at 678-534-1143.
Okay. Well, David, Rachel, thank you so much for coming on the show. We appreciate your help.
It's been fun.
Any parting words about Chamblee, David?
No, we're glad you're here. You're exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Bring your friends.
And Rachel, your chiropractic practice going well?
Going well. Just had my biggest month.
All right. So people can reach out to what? Remind me, you have a different website. What's the website address?
I'm Atlanta Restoration Chiropractic.
Atlanta Restoration Chiropractic. That's right. All right. So you've been listening to Between Two Trains. Come back in 2 weeks, and we will have another great entrepreneur for you. Thanks for listening.